This is KaOS with a K, 2018-03. And let me say at the outset that I have this installed on an external hard drive in legacy BIOS mode. Both my computer and KaOS 2018-03 support UEFI installation, but I don't use it because it really complicates matters, especially if you're installing a system on an external drive. The Calamares installer worked well, as it usually does, but I wanted to mention a couple of things. It kept trying to convince me to use a GPT partitioning scheme instead of the standard MS-DOS type, and that's usually used with EFI installation, so I declined. However, I had no trouble using the standard partitioning scheme. One other thing, like Ubuntu, KaOS tends to grab any existing Linux swap partition, whether you wanted to use that partition or not. And unlike Ubuntu, the Calamares installer does not have any way of preventing that. So it has latched on to the Linux swap partition on my internal drive, which means really that this is not a portable installation. This is exactly the way it looks when you first install it. The panel is on the right. I don't particularly like that, but it can be changed. One reason it doesn't work very well, when you open the menu, if you go to something like Games, which has a submenu and a sub-submenu, you notice that the submenu opens on the left, but the sub-submenu goes back to the right, and it covers the main menu again. So it just doesn't work very well. But this is KDE, so it can be changed. I click on this little symbol at the bottom and go to Screen Edge and then just drag it where I want it. When you first load KaOS, it comes with this Captain desktop, which is a welcome screen, and you can get it back anytime you want it. This describes KaOS and the fact that it's basically dedicated to one desktop, KDE Plasma, and one toolkit, the Qt toolkit, and one architecture, x86-64. Now you can use this welcome screen for setting certain things. For instance, the default is a single click to open files and folders. You can make it a double click. Under button order here, right hand refers to your hand, not the right button. So if you use your right hand to operate the mouse, your primary button is the left button. And of course you can change that by clicking on left hand, and your primary button will be the right button. And here you can set a lot of the desktop appearance items. May I say that you also have the complete KDE Plasma settings, and I find that if you try to use both this one and that one, especially at the same time, the whole system can lock up. So I'm going to skip this and use the KDE settings. And here you can change the default menu. It's the application menu, and it gives you the option of two others, the application launcher and the application dashboard, but I prefer the menu. And here you can choose a desktop background, but I found that when I chose one here, that's not what I got. It kept the old background. So I'm going to choose that again in other ways. It lets you create an avatar, an image of yourself, or something that represents you. And then here's a summary of your settings. So you can either apply them or not. And I'm going to apply them, but I only set one thing, and that's the right-handed mouse. Click on Finish. KaOS is a rolling release, and it has the latest software, and I find that it really does have the latest software. One description of it said that it's inspired by Arch, but it's not Arch-based. It doesn't use the Arch repositories. It uses its own repositories of precompiled applications. One thing it does have in common with many Arch-based distributions is that it uses the Pacman command line package manager, and it also has the Octopi Qt-based graphical front end for Pacman. So it operates something like an Arch-based distribution, but it isn't Arch-based. Now I'm just going to go over a few of the installed applications. I'm not going to go over everything. Under graphics, it comes with GwenView and Carbon and Krita and Ocular. You can install GIMP quite easily, even though it isn't Qt-based. Under Internet, it uses the Falcon browser, which used to be called Cupzilla, and it's been rebranded as Falcon and redesigned to some extent. I find that it works quite well, but you can also install Firefox, and you get the latest Firefox 58 when you do. Under Multimedia, it comes with Simple Screen Recorder by default, which I found convenient. Under Office, it comes with the Calligra Sheets, Words, and Carbon modules. And this is a Qt-based Office suite, but you can install Libre Office, again, even though it's not Qt-based, and it's the latest one, version 6.0 point something. Now under System Settings, you get the regular KDE System Settings, and I'm going to go to that for just a minute. This hasn't changed very much since it first appeared many, many years ago, but it changes in detail with each new release of the KDE Plasma desktop, and this is KDE Plasma 5.12. So under Working Themes, I can change the look and feel. This is Midna. I can change the desktop theme. And this again is Midna. I'm going to leave that. You can change the cursor theme, and there's quite a few cursors. It uses Breeze. You can change the splash screen. I don't particularly care to do that. Under colors, you have an enormous number of different color combinations for your applications. And again, this is Midna. You can change it to Midna Dark, for instance. Now it looks like this. But I'm not going to go through all of these. I'll change it back to Midna for now. You can change fonts, you can change icons. Here's the Midna icons. You also have Breeze, Breeze Dark, Midna Dark, Oxygen. I'll keep that on Midna 2 for now. Application style, you have widget styles. Under window decorations, you also have a large number of options. And right now it's on Breeze. But I think I'm going to change it to plastic just to be different, and I'm going to apply plastic. So now you see I have different decorations up here. You also have a GNOME application style, but I am not connected to the internet right now, so this doesn't work. Let me see if I can connect. It's one of those little invisible icons down here. I click on that, and here's my Wi-Fi network. I'm going to click on Connect. Click on Connect. Now I have to enter my network again to the Wi-Fi password dialog. Click on OK. Now I'm connected. I still can't upload the library, so I'm just going to ignore that. It says down here you have old third-party modules lying around. I should probably update, but I'm not going to do that. Under desktop behavior, I'm going to leave most of these things in place. Under desktop effects, I always uncheck most of these things because I don't want them. All of these animations and fades and transparencies. I'm leaving the screen edge checked. Just two things. Under window management, I'm going to leave desktop grid checked, and I'm going to leave present windows checked. Now I'm going to click on apply. Now when I go back to screen edges up here, this one in the upper left has present windows. I'm going to uncheck that and make it no action. But I'm going to use the middle of my right screen edge for the desktop grid, and then I'm going to click on apply. Now when I go over to the right edge of the screen, I get the desktop grid and it shows minimized application. As you can see, I have two that are minimized. While I'm here, I'm going to add two more desktops. Now, if you don't have present windows checked, you still get the desktop grid, but it doesn't show minimized applications. So that's the reason for that. Now, I'm going to change my wallpaper. I'm going to right-click on the desktop, and then left-click on Configure Desktop. And there's a number of wallpapers here. I like many of them. I found that this one leaves an annoying white line by the edge of the wallpaper. So I'm going to select another one. And you see there's no annoying white line there. Then under tweaks, I'm going to get rid of that little desktop toolbox. This little thing in the upper left, it's unnecessary. So I'm going to unclick that, and I'm going to click on apply, and it's gone. Now, just to show you a little about Octopi and how it works. This is Octopi. Now, if you're familiar with Arch-based applications, there are a lot of similarities here. The difference is that KaOS uses its own repositories, not the Arch repositories. This little green skull, or whatever it is, goes to the AUR, or Arch User Repository, if you're using an Arch-based system. But this is not an Arch-based system, and this does not go to the AUR. It goes to KCP, which is the KaOS Community Packages. It's analogous in some ways to the AUR, but it doesn't have nearly as many applications as the AUR. You can get them by clicking on that. You can scroll down here to your heart's content and see what applications it does have. Applications that it does not have include the drivers for my Brother printer and my Epson scanner. So that's one reason I would find this system very difficult to use. I have read that you can hack it and you can actually install the AUR, but remember, you could destabilize the system because this is not an Arch-based system. You can also, according to the literature, use the package build system to build any packages which are in the Git repository. So it's possible with a lot of effort and little expertise, I could compile and install the drivers for my scanner and printer, but it's not an easy matter. And that, of course, is the one big drawback of independent distributions with their own repositories. They're just some things that they don't have. However, it does have Libre Office. It's right up here, and it's version 6.0.2.1. So I'm going to install that. Now to do that, I have to right-click and then click on Install. And then I can click on this little check mark here, Commit. And this is the confirmation window, so I click on Yes for confirm. Enter my password. I'm letting this run because it actually goes quite fast. So it's finished. There's one warning, one thing didn't install properly, but I'm not going to worry about that now. As you can see, it was quite fast. And if I go over here to my menu and Office, I've got Libre Office, the full suite, including the meta package. And it's version 6.0.2. And notice how fast everything goes. This is a fairly extensive repository, considering that it's an independent distribution. It has almost everything I use. It has MuseScore. As you can see, it's version 2.1, as far as I know, the latest one. It has LibreCAD, version 2.1. And of course it has Kdenlive. You would expect that. And that's version 17.12.3. So again, the latest software. So if you can live with some omissions, this is a fairly usable system. And if you're up to compiling software yourself, then you can probably even fill in those omitted items. This is XRAM Tech. Thanks for watching.